All right, welcome everyone. We are going to collect the data for this lab now. So everyone should be in your groups, and you should have two things out in front of you or up on your Chromebook. First thing is these slides you should have right here at the instructions sheet, which is slide 14. And then you should also have your lab template open with all of this filled out that you've just done recently, either earlier this class period or yesterday. So you have all of that filled out. Now you're going to collect the actual data. And this is where it is a group you're working in. So everyone's going to be in their roles. Facilitators make sure you're keeping track of time, so you're keeping everyone on task and collecting data. But this is really the time for the data analyst to shine here, because you're going to be the one collecting all the data or help telling people what to do here. So how we're going to collect the data is we're going to measure the diameter of a circle, and then we're going to figure out on average, how many marbles fit in it. So you might notice you can't see my face. That's because I have the lab set up here. So we're using these little plastic petri dishes. They're going to be our different size circles. And then we're going to be using these ball bearings here. Your group, depending on which group you're in, you might have these, you might have a bigger size, you might have an even smaller size of them. So what you're going to do here is you're going to first measure this circle, this petri dish. So you're going to take a measurement, try to get the diameter, so make sure it goes from one edge to the other, going through the center. You wouldn't want to measure kind of on the edge here. You want to get as accurate as you can. So you take your measurement here, whatever you decide that measurement to be, then you'd write it down here. Let's say I got it as 3.8. That's not necessarily what it is. That was just, that's my measurement, so don't use this data. I'm really just making it up just to show you the process here. So once you have the diameter, hopefully you've got it within plus or minus 0.3 of a centimeter, because that's our uncertainty, then you're going to collect 3 trials. So you have your diameter of the circle. Then what you'll do is you'll take your ball bearings here, you'll put them in, and you'll see how many fit in here. You can see that 4 definitely fit in here. And now I've got 5 fitting in there. But if they're not quite arranged properly, sometimes it looks like, oh, it's hard to get that 5th one in. Here, it looks like it doesn't fit. So that's why we have an uncertainty here of plus or minus 1 marble, because sometimes it's hard to tell if another marble fits in or not. And then here, it doesn't fit in because it's sitting on the top of them, but some of it fits. So it looks like we can get at least 5 marbles, maybe a little bit of the 5th one in, but we'll call it 5 here. So then I'd record my data as being 5 marbles there for my first trial. Then what I do is I'm going to dump them back, and now the data analyst nominates someone else to do a trial. So now have someone else put in a number of marbles and see how many they can get fitting in here. And then, oh, it's also 5 here. So then they get 5, and then you dump them back out and get another person to measure them 5. All right, so then you take an average here. So the recorder make sure you get all this down, and then you can have people copy your data into their lab. So everyone should end up having this. To find the average, we take all of these trials, 5 plus 5 plus 5, and then divide by 3. So 5 plus 5 is 10, plus 5 is 15, 15 divided by 3 is 5. There. So there's our average number of marbles that fits in this next one, in this smallest one. Then you're going to repeat the process. You're going to go to the next size circle, figure out what it ends up being. Again, I did not measure that very quick. I measured that way too quickly. I said 6.5. Maybe it's plus or it's more or less than that. Again, don't use my data. I'm just making it up. And then you're going to put in as many marbles fit in this next size circle here. You can see I put it in here, and then it's like I can't quite get any more to fit in without one sitting on the surface. So this would be how many I'd have in there. And then I'd count this one, figure out how many are in there, and then have someone else in my group put them back, dump them in, and see how many fit in there. And then you'd collect your data of whatever you ended up here. Then you just repeat the process. Go to the next size circle, go to the next size circle, dump the marbles in, count them, do it 3 times, and I'd have 3 different people count it just to make sure you're getting close. And then finally, the last circle that you're going to have here is going to be 20 centimeters. And I don't have, we don't have enough ball bearings for 20 centimeters, and it would take a really long time to count 20 centimeters. For example, if you look at the slides here, this is 20 centimeters with the really small ball bearings. These are the marbles, which are essentially the same size as the ball bearings I'm using here. And then here's the bigger ones that we're using. So this one gives you your final data point here. It's on the slides. I'll also check in with the group to make sure you have that final data point. If you have the smallest one, there's 880 ball bearings in it. The middle-sized ones, 200 ball bearings / marbles, and then if you have the big ball bearings, there's 45 in it. So that's your last data point that you can copy in over here. So what we were using the middle size, so it's going to be 200 would go there. So that's going to be my data there. So by the end of this process, you should have all of this filled out and the averages collected. So make sure you're all working as a group and all being productive. And by the end of this data collecting process, everyone should have this table in their own lab. All right.